President Trump in Switzerland speaking to world leaders at the Economic Forum in Davos. His meetings with foreign leaders, top of mind right now is Greenland, certainly. The president digging in on his hopes to acquire it, threatening steep tariffs on several U.S. allies until a deal is reached. NewsNation's international correspondent Robert Sherman is live for us in Davos. And Robert, I want to start with what we've just learned from Reuters reports in the last few minutes, that the European Parliament is suspending work on a trade deal with the U.S. in protest of President Trump's plans for Greenland. What more do you know about this and the significance of that move?
Yeah, this has all moved rather rapidly here in Brussels today, Marni. I mean, what we've heard from Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission, and she had been vowing for days on end, with all the possibilities of these threats of more tariffs being placed on Europe, that Europe would stand in solidarity and would be prepared to rebuke President Trump. But now the European Parliament there just voted to suspend all the work that they had been doing on the trade agreement that was put in place and put into motion between the U.S. and the EU. You were supposed to see some deadlines coming down in the next couple of days, but with everything that's gone on the issue of Greenland and the possibility of more tariffs being placed on Europe, you've seen a lot of members that had been calling throughout the day for all of this to be put on hold. And some of those European members already didn't like the deal in premise that was negotiated with the White House, believing it was too lopsided in favor of the United States. Now you've seen some of this first retaliatory action, which the White House had been warning Europe to not go down this road. You heard Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying this morning that everyone needs to remain calm and listen to the negotiations take place. The president just left the podium a short while ago in which he said he was seeking immediate negotiations on the issue of Greenland, saying that he wanted to put it under U.S. control, left the door open for Europe to say no, adding that if the deal could be struck, he would be appreciative. But if Europe did not agree to a deal, the U.S. would remember it. The big point that he made here is that he viewed this as an issue of national security and does not believe that Europe is adequately prepared in order to defend the Arctic region. Here's what he said just a short while ago.
It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States. This would greatly enhance the security of the entire alliance, the NATO alliance.
I mean, you've heard the president mentioning throughout the week here, especially after you saw all these European nations moving small numbers of troops over to Greenland for drills that would be taking place there, that the possibility of tariffs could be put on the table, that he wanted to see a deal get done between these European nations. And everyone in the White House circle has remained optimistic that a deal can be struck. This is the first formal retaliatory action that we've seen coming from Europe, in which they're effectively putting this trade agreement on ice. It doesn't mean that it sits there in perpetuity, but the first action being taken out of Brussels here just a few minutes after the president left the podium in Davos. Marni?
Yeah, no doubt. He is learning of that now and will be asked about it here shortly. So we'll be monitoring his comments coming out of Davos. Robert Sherman, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.